corporate sector now joining us, Mr. Adi Godrej. Mr. Godrej, good evening to you, sir, and thank you very much for joining us. It's your opinion on the way in which the events have panned out in Tata Sons itself. It now looks like Palonji versus Tata Trusts.
Yes, Lata, I'm quite saddened to see something like this happen at India's most renowned business group. It's not good for Indian business, and there are better ways of sorting out differences. So I'm quite saddened with what has happened. And I've, of course, known Cyrus most of his life and always found him to be a person of integrity and character.
Okay. Would you say that the seeds of this conflict is because for the first time the chairman of Tata Sons was not the chairman of the Tata Trusts, and therefore this conflict?
That's a possibility. It's difficult to tell, and that can always give rise to problems. But I am not privy to exactly why these things have happened. But I'm very sad that it has happened. It's not good for corporate India, and it's not good for one of India's most renowned business group.
Knowing as you do the inmates of Bombay House and the top echelons of the Tata Group companies, do you think this might now start impacting the group companies?
It's possible. I hope not, because they're companies which are very important to the Indian economy. But it's overall quite sad, and let's see how it progresses. And you just mentioned on the TV, I heard that this is going into legal ramifications.
Do you see a resolution at all, sir, or have things reached a point of no return?
Doesn't look like it. I think they've taken steps where I don't think there will be a resolution unless there are legal interventions.
Mr. Godrej, a very quick word. Ratan Tata has today tried to assure CEOs that it will be business as usual, that nothing really changes. But if you have read the words, do you think it will offer a sense of conciliation in a way to CEOs? Will it really soothe frayed nerves, or will there be uncertainty for the CEOs of group companies?
I think there will be uncertainty, because it's very difficult to see a chairman who has been in office for 4 years suddenly being out of the picture, and a chairman who was there 4 years ago suddenly coming into the picture. This is very unusual and very difficult to put through.
Mr. Godrej, what is your sense about whether the Tata Group will now be what it was? I mean, for 150 years or 100 years, it was this integrated group. Now, do you think that we are going to see bits and pieces of the group, and therefore not anymore the premier Indian conglomerate?
That's difficult to tell, but clearly I think the great reputation will be damaged, to my mind.
How do foreign investors or onlookers, outsiders to the Indian scene look at our corporate structure itself in the developing world, or the emerging market, if you please? There aren't very big standards of sanctity of contract and state-of-the-art corporate governance standards. The Tata Group and a few groups like yours were the few family-run groups, but still had professionalism. Do you think that image takes a dent?
Maybe not, because the Tata Group is rather unusual, that the main promoter is a trust or a combination of trusts. That's a little unusual. Most groups have trusts, but they're not majority shareholders in the principal holding company as in the Tata Group.
How well do you know, sir, the problems that were festering? Did you get a sense that Mr. Tata couldn't let go? Or do you think that he couldn't suffer a change in style?
It's difficult to tell, Lata. I was not privy to such details, but clearly I regret that this has happened. I think it's not good for either Tata's reputation or for Indian business generally, Lata.
A word of advice, sir, for all parties concerned?
I think one should, there are better ways of sorting out differences than the way this seems to be heading.
Okay, if you were to, sorry, go ahead. If you had to pick successors, what would your list look like?
It's difficult. I have not given it thought.
You know, my question was actually taking from Lata's. Mr. Godrej, don't you think it will be a concern for a successor? I mean, hypothetically, if you were to look at taking over something of this sort, aren't the ghosts too dark to actually think of coming on as a successor now?
I would imagine, because I think even Cyrus, when he took over, he was part of the selection committee for a successor, and then they went to him, and people were also surprised that he was appointed the successor. When this sort of a thing happens, I think it will be difficult for a potential successor.
Yes, I mean, considering that his sister is married to Noel Tata, the two families must have known each other very well. In spite of it, things didn't work out. Now, you know, the names that are circulating are names like Indra Nui. If you can't agree with someone whom you know so well, do you think an outsider will dare take that seat?
As I mentioned, there would obviously be difficulties.
Okay. All right, Mr. Godrej, pleasure speaking with you, and our condolences to you as well, sir.
Good. Thank you, and good to talk to you.